power, opportunity, and neglect of duty. The story begins in 2 Samuel 11, at a time when kings go out to war. David, however, remains in Jerusalem. That small detail signals a deeper issue. He is absent from his responsibilities, creating the conditions for temptation. His idleness and isolation become the soil in which the later sins grow. From his rooftop, David sees Bathsheba bathing. The text emphasizes that he inquired about her, meaning he had time to stop, reflect, and turn away. Instead, he proceeds. The sin with Bathsheba, lust, power, and exploitation. David sends for Bathsheba, and she is brought to him. The narrative is intentionally sparse, but the power imbalance is unmistakable. David is the king. Bathsheba is the wife of a loyal soldier. She has no meaningful ability to refuse. The act is not portrayed as a mutual affair, but as an abuse of authority. Bathsheba later sends word that she is pregnant, which forces David to confront the consequences of his actions. The sin against Uriah, deception, manipulation, and murder. David attempts to cover his sin through a series of escalating actions. Deception. He calls Uriah home from battle, hoping he will sleep with his wife and assume the child is his. Manipulation. When Uriah refuses out of loyalty to his fellow soldiers, David tries again, even getting him drunk. Murder. When these attempts fail, David arranges for Uriah to be placed on the front lines and abandoned so he will be killed. The text is clear. David uses the machinery of the state military command, political authority, and the loyalty of others to orchestrate Uriah's death. It is premeditated and calculated. The spiritual dimension, contempt for God. When the prophet Nathan confronts David, 2 Samuel 12, he frames the sin not only as a moral failure but as a violation of covenant faithfulness. David despised the word of the Lord. He took what was not his. He shed innocent blood. Nathan's parable of the rich man stealing the poor man's lamb exposes David's actions as theft, exploitation, and cruelty. Consequences: personal, familial, and national. Although David repents sincerely, the consequences ripple outward. The child born to Bathsheba dies, symbolizing the cost of David's sin. Violence erupts within David's household. Amnon, Tamar, Absalom fulfilling Nathan's warning that the sword shall never depart from your house. David's moral authority weakens, affecting his leadership and the stability of the kingdom. These consequences are not arbitrary punishments, but natural outgrowths of the corruption David introduced into his own household.